Transportation in ancient cities. Imagine walking through the bustling streets of an ancient city, Rome, Babylon, or Mohenjo-daro. The air is alive with the sounds of merchants haggling, animals clopping along, and the hum of human activity. But how did people, goods, and ideas move in these vibrant urban centers thousands of years ago? Welcome to a journey through time, where we'll explore the ingenious ways ancient civilizations mastered transportation in their cities. From dusty trails to grand stone roads, let's uncover the systems that kept these societies on the move. Transportation was the lifeblood of ancient cities. These were hubs of trade, culture, and governance, often home to tens or even hundreds of thousands of people. Getting food to markets, soldiers to battle, or messages to rulers required efficient movement. Unlike today's cars or trains, ancient societies relied on human ingenuity, animal power, and the lay of the land. Cities like Ur in Mesopotamia, or Chang, and in ancient China were strategically built near rivers or trade routes, making transportation not just a necessity but a driver of their growth. For example, rivers like the Tigris, Euphrates, or Nile were natural highways, allowing boats to carry grain, pottery, or even massive stone blocks for monuments. On land, pathways, often just packed dirt, connected neighborhoods, markets, and temples. But as cities grew, so did the need for more sophisticated systems. The challenge? Terrain, weather, and technology. Most ancient cities didn't have paved roads or engines. Muddy rains could turn streets into swamps, and long distances demanded stamina. Yet, ancient engineers and planners found remarkable solutions, tailored to their environment and resources. Let's dive into some of these innovations, starting with the roads that defined urban life. If you strolled through ancient Rome around 100 BCE, you'd likely walk on carefully laid stone roads, some so well built they're still in use today. The Romans were masters of road construction, creating a network that stretched across their empire. In cities like Rome or Pompeii, streets were paved with large flat stones called basoli. These roads were cambered, slightly curved, so rainwater would drain off, keeping them usable even in storms. But Rome wasn't alone. In the Indus Valley, cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, built around 2500 BCE, boasted grid-like street layouts with wide main roads and narrower lanes. Some streets were paved with baked bricks, and they even had covered drains to manage waste and water, pretty advanced for 4,500 years ago. These roads weren't just for walking. They supported carts and chariots, often pulled by oxen or donkeys. In Mesoamerica, the Maya built zakbiub, or white roads, made of limestone and plaster. These elevated causeways connected city centers to temples or other cities, sometimes stretching for miles. They weren't just practical. They had ceremonial importance, used for processions or pilgrimages. Across cultures, roads were more than infrastructure. They were symbols of a city's power and organization. While roads set the stage, animals and humans did the heavy lifting. In ancient Egypt, donkeys and oxen were the workhorses of urban transport, hauling goods like grain or papyrus through city streets or along the Nile. In Mesopotamia, two-wheeled carts pulled by donkeys rattled through Babylon's gates, delivering clay tablets or textiles to markets. Horses were rarer, often reserved for elites or warfare, but in cities like Persepolis in Persia, they carried messengers or nobles through grand avenues. In ancient China, horse-drawn chariots were a status symbol, but oxen and water buffalo powered most urban transport, especially for heavy loads like timber or rice. Then there was human power. Porters, often enslaved people or laborers, carried goods on their backs or in baskets balanced on their heads. In ancient Athens, for instance, porters shuttled amphorae, large clay jars of wine or olive oil, through narrow streets to the agora, the city's marketplace. Sedan chairs, carried by teams of people, were a luxury for the wealthy. letting them glide above the muddy or crowded streets. But what about water? For many ancient cities, rivers and canals were the real superhighways. Let's explore how water shaped urban movement. Water was a game changer for ancient transportation. Cities built near rivers or coasts, like Memphis in Egypt or Hangzhou in China, used boats to move people and goods faster and cheaper than land travel. In Mesopotamia, small reed boats navigated the Euphrates, carrying everything from dates to diplomatic messages. Larger wooden vessels plied the Mediterranean, linking Greek and Phoenician cities like Athens or Tyre to far-off ports. Some cities took it further by building canals. In ancient China, cities along the Grand Canal, started as early as the 5th century BCE, used it to transport rice, soldiers, and even emperors. The canal was a marvel, with locks to manage water levels and barges that could carry tons of cargo. In Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital, a network of canals crisscrossed the city, built on a lake. Canoes made of hollowed-out logs ferried people and goods, from maize to feathers, through this watery metropolis. Water transport wasn't just efficient. It connected cities to the wider world, fueling trade and cultural exchange. But it wasn't without risks. Storms, pirates, or shallow waters could spell disaster. Transportation in ancient cities wasn't all smooth sailing or walking. Crowded streets, like those in Rome, led to traffic jams of carts, chariots, and pedestrians. Julius Caesar even banned wheeled vehicles from Rome's center during the day to ease congestion. Maintenance was another headache. Roads wore down and canals silted up. In desert cities like Petra, water scarcity limited transport options, so camel caravans became vital for moving goods. Yet, ancient societies innovated. The Incas, without wheels or draft animals, built rope bridges and tamped earth roads across the Andes, relying on runners called chasquiot to carry messages at astonishing speeds. In Greece, engineers designed ruts in stone roads to guide cartwheels, an early form of rails. These solutions show how ancient people adapted to their unique challenges, laying the groundwork for modern transportation. From Rome's stone roads to Tenochtitlan's canals, transportation in ancient cities was a triumph of human ingenuity. These systems didn't just move goods or people. They connected communities, spread ideas, and built empires. Next time you're stuck in traffic, think of those ancient streets where oxen, boats, and human grit kept the world turning. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time. Until next time, keep exploring the past.